Hey there, it's Lacey J, here to ask you to go to spacebearmedia.com right now to access all our content, buy yourself some merch, and most importantly, send us a message, a question, fan mail, even hate mail. We'll respond on YouTube. Also, please remember to rate and review the podcast on your favorite app or share it with someone you know who loves Lost. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It's Lost in My 40s. We're in season fucking 4. It's episode 2. It's called Confirmed Dead. It's a Faraday, Charlotte, Miles, and Lapidus episode. It's a Christy episode. But first, how's everybody doing?
Awesome.
Great.
Yay.
Doing lovely.
All right. I'm excited. I'm so excited. Ben, you
just can't hide
let
it.
us know. Yeah. Let us know what the rankings ended after the first episode. I'm so psyched. We've got some new people in the top, new people in the bottom, new cast today. Yes. This is all very exciting. Derek, give me a hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right.
All right,
At the
Ben.
end of last week, we had the bottom, third from the bottom was Matthew Abaddon.
No disrespect to Lance Reddick.
God rest his
all
soul.
Respect. Yes, indeed.
In second place, we had a tie between Christian Shepherd's Shadow, I guess, and Naomi. And we had Jack in last place with -7
Damn.
points.
Jack, what you doing, buddy? What you doing?
I guess trying to execute Locke does have its downsides from a power
And thinking about growing
perspective.
that beard.
And that beard, yeah. That's what put him over the top.
That's what did him
was the
in,
fucking
yeah.
beard. We have Claire in third from the top, which
Wow.
only was really on account of me and Derek being despicable people.
Yep.
In second place, we have Ben Linus with 8 points,
Yes.
much to Christy's chagrin. And in first place, it's no surprise, it was the cannonball himself, Hurley, with 23 points.
Yeah, Hurley coming out the gate strong in season 4. He does not want to lose that title, that aggregate. It's his to lose, and he's not going to do it. All right, guys, are we ready?
Let's do it.
Yep.
Season 4, episode 2, Confirmed Dead. Christy, please.
All right. We start in flashback number 1.
Oh, we're back to the backs. Back to the flashbacks.
Yeah, flashback.
Front to the back,
back.
not back to the front.
Oh, you know how to wipe like a girl.
Yes.
Okay, so the episode opens underwater as a camera is scouring the ocean floor. We have 2 men talking to each other over some radios. One is called Braun. They talk about how the drone's picking up nothing but seafood. They appear to be like treasure hunters.
Yeah, that was the vibe I
then-
got too.
Yeah, and then they switch feeds and they look at a camera from a different drone. And Ron says the drone is on a bearing of 137 from the coordinates they pulled off the map that the guy gave them.
Oh.
The guy.
Is that like the guy on the couch?
The other man says that the magnetometer is picking up a lot of anomalies.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So the camera from the drone then pans across the water and exposes the tail end of a plane
What?
The plane,
with an
the
oceanic
plane.
logo. The man asks
What?
Ron if he's seeing this, and then he says it's an airplane. Oh my God. It's Oceanic 815.
What?
Oh
the
my God, sir.
Yeah.
Excuse me, but no, it's not.
So now
This
we have a
is-
shot of the front of the plane. And when the camera pulls back, it's revealed that we are now watching a newscast.
Mm.
The reporter says this haunting footage comes to us from the Christian 1, a salvage vehicle in the Indian Ocean. For more than 2 months, it's been scouring the depths of the Sunda Trench off of Bali in search of the remains of sunken trading ships. Late last night, the Christiane deployed 2 remotely operated vehicles, or ROVs, that verified what the National Transportation Safety Board has long feared, that the commercial... And then the camera changes and we can see a man sitting in a chair watching the news. It's the same man who just parachuted on the island at the end of episode 1, and he is shaking and he is crying and he is really not doing well.
What's wrong, mister?
I know. So from the kitchen, we hear a woman say, "How do you want your eggs, Dan?" "So what happened? Did they find that missing plane? Dan? Dan?" She comes into the room, and although her face is kept out of the frame, she finds him crying, and she asks why he's so upset. And Daniel replies, "I don't know."
What?
So he doesn't even know why he's reacting this way.
What
Yeah.
the fuck?
The mysteries begin right off the bat.
So now the scene changes abruptly to Daniel in a helicopter on the night of day 91 for the originals. There's a red-haired woman screaming that she can't find her vest. The pilot is screaming, "Get ready." And then an Asian man hands the woman what appears to be a bulletproof vest. The pilot tells them to jump, and Daniel is screaming no when the other man grabs him and throws him out of the helicopter.
Whoa. Okay.
Right. Daniel then falls to the ground. He removes his parachute kit and he starts hearing noises, so he grabs a gun. Kate and Jack come running up to him, and we are in the scene from the end of the last episode. And then we continue into the present. So when Daniel asks, "Are you Jack?" Jack replies, "Yeah, I'm Jack. Who are you?" And Daniel pauses for a moment, and then he says, "I'm Daniel Faraday. I'm here to rescue you."
All right.
I thought it would have been better.
Fuck.
I thought it would have been better if he said, "I'm Daniel Faraday, and I am a trained cobbler."
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Okay, so now we get the lost title screen.
That's a long opening,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Was it?
Well, yeah, because they were really underwater for a while. Coming up to
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and they kind of like flashed around to,
Mhm.
a couple of different things. So,
Yep.
Right.
So back on the island, we have Kate, Jack, and Faraday walking through the jungle.
Why is he wearing a tie? I just have to
I know,
ask
yeah.
that question. Like,
Yeah, that's true.
He's not
supposed to look-
really dressed for this.
No, but he's supposed to look like science-y, I guess, maybe. So he's got on like the thin tie, like Bill Nye wears, I think.
Yeah.
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Bill
like
Nye the science
skinny
guy
little
in a
tie.
super skinny tie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said, why, oh, why to Bill Nye the science guy? Why do you wear that skinny tie?
Oh my, who are the fuck are you, Dr. Seuss? What
Yeah, Dr. Seuss over here.
Oh my goodness. All right.
Yeah. So he tells him that there were 4 people in the helicopter, including him, and he wants to contact them, but he lost his pack and his phone when he jumped. So Kate's like, "We've got a phone?"
There you go.
Phone home.
Yeah. So she hands him Naomi's phone, and he calls Minkowski, who tells him that the chopper comms went dead, and he asks what happened. Faraday's like, "I don't know, George. There was an electrical storm, all the instruments, I think it went down. But listen, I made contact with some of the survivors, and we were just, and then Minkowski asks if he's on speakerphone.
Ruh-roh.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Right. So Faraday steps away to speak privately, and Kate tells Jack that Naomi covered for them and didn't say anything about what Locke did. Jack wants to know if Kate is sure about that, and then motions to the gun tucked in Faraday's pants.
Ooh.
Ruh-roh.
Yeah. After hanging up the phone, Faraday returns, and he's like, "Okay, so the boat hasn't heard from anybody else yet, but the GPS transponders, my team and I are all wearing these. The transponders will send the locations back to the ship, and then the ship will send all the locations back into the phones. There we are. There's my signal right there, and hopefully we'll get the signals for the rest of the team soon. Will you help me find them?" Jack agrees, and then Faraday asks where the rest of the people are, and Kate says, "Most of them are at the back at the beach." And Faraday
Most?
replies, "Most of them?"
Uh-oh.
Most.
So I kind of love the way Faraday speaks. I feel like it's really hard to mimic that necessarily, but he does a lot of the like,
Yeah.
like he's thinking real hard all the time, and he kind of squints his face, and it's very like it. I don't know if they're just trying to make him into kind of like a goofy, dorky science guy or something, but I find it cute. I have a bit of a crush on it. I did the first time I watched the show too. I had a little crush on Daniel Faraday. I guess I find physicists sexy.
So now we are on the morning of day 92. Locke is standing in a field in the rain with his face looking upward and his eyes closed.
He's like in his happy place.
Yeah, he's living his best life. He's living his Locke life.
Yeah.
Yep.
Living his Locke life.
Mhm.
He's got a big smile across his face, and Hurley walks up and tells him that he's going to get struck by lightning. Locke says...
To which Locke says, no, Hugo, I am the storm.
Yeah, basically. So Locke tells Hugo that the storm is about to pass, and just as Hurley starts to argue, the rain stops.
What?
Yep.
What?
Vincent is there. He shakes off all the water. And then Sawyer wants to know why they're heading east when the barracks are south. And Locke says that they have to make a little detour to a cabin first.
Just a little cabin in the woods. That's all.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So Hurley says, I thought the cabin was back that way. And
What?
then Locke looks really intrigued, and he's like, what did you say, Hugo?
Cabin?
Right. So Hurley very quickly covers, and he's like, oh, I thought you were talking about the airplane cabin.
That was a pretty good cover for
That
Hurley.
was a good cover, actually, for him.
Yeah, but you know who didn't buy it?
Locke.
Yeah.
And Ben Linus.
Yeah, of course.
He was peaked as well.
Yeah, so Locke and Ben are both staring at Hurley, and Sawyer wants to know why they would waste their time doing that. And Locke replies, because we're supposed to.
Of
Oh,
course,
boy.
Locke.
Oh, boy.
Of course.
Here we
So
go again.
Sawyer says, like you were supposed to throw a knife into that Naomi chick's back?
Oh.
Locke smiles and says, uh-huh.
Nice.
Yep. Damn
Oh
right.
my God. This is
It's
like, he's just
so
like,
crazy.
but I mean, yeah, like that's how zealots appear to those of us who are not, following them. But
You mean like maggots?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Locke is on his mission, and he is confident about it. I guess he's trying to appear confident. Ben, we talk about that a little later, I guess, with Locke looking for someone to tell him what to do.
Mhm.
But he's certainly determined to, stay on that same path of the island needs me, and I have to protect it.
Yeah. So now Sawyer is back to his nicknames, and he calls Locke Colonel Kurtz and asks where he's getting his orders from. And Locke says, I got him from Walt.
Oh, what?
Walt!
Everyone is
What?
like so confused.
The fuck?
Now, see, if I was kind of like on the fence, I'm like, yeah, this guy's nuts. He's talking to someone's not even there.
Yeah.
So back at the beach, Saeed is sitting with Juliet watching the ocean. And Juliet tells him that Jack isn't back and asks if he's seen anything.
Notice how sunburned she looks in this scene?
Yeah.
Well,
Her face
she's
is, like,
fucking
super
pale.
red. Not in this scene. It looks like she's spent a little too much time in the sun before filming.
Or during filming.
Or during
Yeah.
Also
filming.
be.
Yeah.
You think they'd like
They
have
don't
people
have
there to
sunblock? Yeah.
Yeah, to
Yeah.
like force you to wear sunscreen while on set for continuity issue problems.
Sure.
Like that could cause, yeah.
Yeah. I remember reading somewhere that the kid who played Draco Malfoy
Mm-hmm.
like was not ever allowed to be out in like the sun without a hat and fully covered
I bet.
because his character was so pale, and like they couldn't even risk him getting like freckles and stuff.
Wow.
Right, yeah.
So, and that
Should've just-
was like for so many years.
I should
Yeah,
just
that's
cast an
true.
albino. It'd been easier.
True.
Well,
So
I
they
mean,
still need to stay out of the sun.
yeah.
Well, yeah, but they'll just burn.
So, all right. Juliet tells Saeed that Jack isn't back, and she asks him if he's seen anything. And he says no, but that the freighter could be on the other side of the island. He then asks Juliet why Ben would say that the people that are coming here intend to do them harm. And Juliet says, because he's a liar and he's trying to scare us. That's what Ben does. Or because the people coming here intend to do us harm.
Oh, boy.
Good
One
answer.
of those two.
Good
Yeah.
answer.
Yeah. And then she's like, how many guns do you have left? And the two just kind
boy.
of stare at each other.
Oh, boy.
Solid planning, Juliet. Like,
That's sort
prepare for
of,
the worst.
yeah, that's sort of reminiscent of the like sit down beach conversation that Jack and Anna Lucia had about going to war with the others. Remember that conversation?
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, it reminds me of that.
So in the jungle, Faraday is using the satellite phone as radar, and he's looking for the other signals. Kate sees a big metal box on the ground and asks if it was from the chopper, and he confirms that it was and says they were trying to reduce the weight load, and the case was thrown from the helicopter just like he was. So Jack opens it, and he pulls out a gas mask, and he's like, what's this for?
He has all his biohazard stuff. on it.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, and Faraday's like, I'm not in charge of packing, so...
Okay.
Yeah, Jack's finally starting to realize that he might have been wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And then he confronts Faraday on why he brought a gun. So Faraday calls the gun a precaution, and Jack's like, against what? And Faraday's
Exactly.
like, yeah, okay, see, rescuing you and your people, can't really say it's our primary objective.
What?
Oh,
Right.
Say what?
So
Yeah.
now we've got some confirmation something is not on the level.
Mm-hmm.
Ben
No, not at all.
might have been telling the truth.
Jack wants to know what the primary objective is. But then the phone picks up a signal. So Faraday ignores him and he's like, it's Miles. Come on.
No, it's not miles, it's kilometers. It's 5 kilometers inland. mainly.
That's right.
Back to Locke leading Team Island. And Sawyer wants to know if Locke saw Walt in a dream. Locke says it was not a dream. It was a taller Walt. So Sawyer says, what, like a giant?
Jesus Christ.
Yes, Sawyer, that's
Yes.
exactly
Yeah.
right.
So he also wants to know what Walt said, and Locke tells him that it was that he has work to do.
Of
He
course.
must stop
Mhm.
Naomi.
Ah.
Mm.
Sawyer inquires about any follow-up questions Locke may have asked tall Walt.
Oh my god.
So Locke says, I just took Walt at his word. He rescued me from Ben's death trap. And Sawyer's like, I find it hard to believe that you were shot. So Locke pulls up his shirt and he shows him the entrance and exit wounds.
Yeah.
Everybody's looking at it, especially Ben. And Locke says the bullet went in one side and came out the other. I'd probably be dead if I still had a kidney here. Anything else?
What?
Yeah. So Sawyer and the
What?
group are all silently staring at Locke, and he just turns and walks away.
Yep.
I mean, this is a pretty big fucking moment right here. Like issues surrounding, fate and things like that have come up so many times in this story. And now it's like, what the fuck? Did you have to go through all of that shit so you wouldn't die on the island? Like, what is even going on here? That moment blows me away every time I see it. It's just like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So meanwhile, we have Faraday, Jack, and Kate, and they are closing in on Miles via kilometers. They come out of the jungle onto a rocky shore, and they see an unconscious parachutist.
A lot of those are on the island
calls to
lately.
him. Yeah. So Faraday calls to him as they run down the rocks, and Jack reaches him first. He pulls off the guy's helmet, and Kate's like, is he dead? Just before he springs to life and holds a gun to Jack's head. Miles says, back up, handsome.
Yay.
As
noticed.
Faraday is calming him down and telling him that Jack and Kate are there to help.
So this is a question I've got. Was he just kind of like waiting there for somebody to show up so he could pull this little ambush? Like that seems like an odd thing.
He could have heard them coming.
I suppose.
Like if he heard more voices than just Daniel's, then he thought, I need to get the jump on these people. That's a possibility.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they all went around. They all went down around the same time. I don't know why he'd still be right where he landed. That doesn't make any sense to me. This
we don't
bit of a plot hole.
Well, because I guess he thinks other people are coming to find him, so he's waiting, and then I don't know.
I don't know.
Some people are unconscious for 5 seconds, others for 5 days.
That's true.
Yeah, well,
random unconsciousness.
We'll get to that when we get to Charlotte's scene. I have some questions about how she's like still hanging in a tree like 15 minutes later. So, yeah. All right. Anywho.
So while Faraday is trying to calm Miles down, Kate is trying to steal Faraday's gun, but Miles can see it. And she warns him before she can do it. So then Miles hears Jack say Kate's name. And he questions where Naomi is. Kate tries to play dumb. And Miles says, Naomi, the woman you killed.
What?
Where is she?
Ruh-roh.
How would he know that?
How would he know that?
So flashback number 2. A car pulls up outside of a house in Inglewood, California. The radio's on and a reporter can be heard. Oceanic 815. It can only be described as the worst case scenario. With the plane accounted for and a salvage mission unlikely, authorities are confirming all 324 passengers dead.
Yep.
Miles gets out of the car and he knocks on the door of a house. A woman answers and Miles introduces himself and says that they spoke on the phone earlier. She sends Miles to a room at the end of the hall upstairs. And he's like, I want to be paid $200 cash before I start. She's like, well, you said it was only 100. And he goes, well, that was before my buddy at the police station told me that your grandson was murdered. It's going to be 200.
Wait, what? What?
Right. So she pays him and he unpacks a case and puts together the shittiest proton pack I think I've ever seen in my entire life.
That thing was horrible.
I know. It looks like a hand vacuum.
It did.
It's
what it looked like was a hand vac. Yeah.
Yeah. So he says to her, no matter what you hear, don't come up.
Excuse me?
And
what?
Yeah. So then he heads upstairs. He puts the machine on the ground and turns it on, and then he kind of shivers.
Who are you going to call?
He starts talking out loud, and he says, you're not doing your grandmother any good staying here, man. You're causing her a lot
medium.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Second Family Guy reference in the second episode.
He says, you're causing her a lot of pain. I want to go downstairs and tell her that you've gone, but the only way I'm going to be able to do this is if you tell me where it is. So where is it? Yeah.
Whoa.
So we hear something fall over by a bookshelf. And when Miles starts looking around, I think that he opens the vent and he finds money
behind the bookshelf, right?
Behind the bookshelf.
Yeah. You're right.
So he finds a bunch of money and a bunch of drugs. He
looks like
takes
heroin.
The money. Yeah. And he puts the drugs back.
Yeah.
Well, this is important because when you're a medium, you don't want to get high.
Right.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yes.
God damn it. It's going to take me days to recover from that.
Yeah,
I like
that was pretty low.
Yeah, it was pretty low.
that.
Exactly. I was gonna say something about him how taking the money was low, but the high one was.
Well done, Jen.
Wow. It's like we all came at the same time. That's
Not in anyone's eye, at least.
Oh, man. All right. He takes the money, he puts the drugs back, and then he turns his vacuum off and he goes downstairs.
Turns his vacuum off.
Am I weird that I was just like, if it were me, I'd be like, yeah, I'm actually going to take the drugs. You never know when this shit might come in handy. Like, might as well.
Yeah. I was pretty surprised by that.
I mean, honestly,
if I'm talking to dead people, maybe a little bit of coke wouldn't be a bad thing to have.
That was not cocaine. That was not
was heroin.
That was heroin. It was yellow.
I was saying
yellow.
Charlie.
Yeah.
But I at the same time, I wouldn't even know how to get any money for it, how to sell it, like.
Don't sell, you just chase the dragon every once in a while. A little heroin never hurt anybody.
No, exactly.
Just ask Charlie.
That's actually true. A little heroin rarely hurts anybody. It's
right, just a little.
Like just
All
the
right,
tip
so-
of the heroin, and then
God.
you're fine.
So he disconnects his machine and goes downstairs, and the woman asks him if it worked. Miles says yes. He's
Your
at
bedroom's
peace now.
clean.
He's like, no, this machine kind of sucks.
This house is clean.
Ooh, boy.
So
Oh, my
he
goodness.
gives her back half of her money, and he tells her that it wasn't as tricky as he expected. So the woman hugs him and thanks him.
He gives her back the money he just fucking stole, but
Yeah.
okay.
Oh,
No, I
God
think he
damn it,
gave
Miles.
she paid him $200 and he gave her $100 back
Yeah.
from what she
Well,
paid.
I know,
Right.
but what I'm kind of counting it as like he only gave it back to her because he stole a bunch of other money that he could have given her if it.
Oh yeah, he
But-
definitely.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. So now we're back to the same moment on the rocks, and we've got Faraday trying to talk Miles out of pointing his gun at Jack and Kate, and he's telling him that these are good people. And Miles says, then why did Naomi use the damn code? Yeah, you remember when she said, tell my sister I love her? Well, she doesn't have a sister.
Uh-oh.
That's what we're supposed to say if we get
What?
captured and have guns to our head.
Uh-oh.
okay.
Right.
I'm gonna
So-
jump back to the flashback. I think this is an important thing with Miles as a character, because what this shows with him giving the money back or giving half of the money back, it's showing like he's obviously really kind of cynical and very jaded, and you can just tell
Oh, yeah.
by the way he does this. But he does have a conscience, even though he's kind of gruff and sarcastic. He does have a conscience.
Okay. A lot like Sawyer when we first met him.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of him right now,
Yeah.
No, I'm not either.
as my rankings reflect.
You know, I really love his sarcasm. I love what it adds to the show. I don't think I loved it enough that I put him in my rankings or anything like that. But I think enjoy Miles more than the rest of you guys. I just appreciate good sarcasm, and
I
he
love
has a lot of
sarcasm.
that.
I just don't
Yeah.
like him.
Well, he's kind of a dick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't like Ben Linus at first either, but
Oh,
that
all right.
changed.
Okay. I will say though, I really enjoy Miles's story arc and where it goes in the show. I think it's pretty cool. We'll get back to that later. Later.
Okay, so Jack claims that they didn't kill her. So Miles is like, well, take me to her body. Faraday wants to keep looking for Charlotte and Lapidus, but Miles is absolutely insistent. Kate explains that it was John Locke who killed her and that he's not with them anymore. So again, Miles he's like, I want to see the body.
Yes.
Yeah. So Kate protests, saying that seeing the body won't show what happened. But Miles says, I'll know. Now take me to her body.
Go
Wow.
me.
Okay, bud.
Whoa.
Good thing, buddy boy.
Yeah. So meanwhile, Locke's group have stopped for a moment. Alex and Carl sit near a tied up Ben, and Ben is trying to get Alex's attention. Carl tells him to keep his mouth shut, and Ben says, Carl, now if you're gonna sleep with my daughter, I insist you call me Ben.
The
Good
way he
God.
says Carl, the way he
Oh
says
my
his name
God.
is fucking hilarious.
Oh,
Yeah.
he
Yeah,
just
so-
is. He just is on all the time.
Mhm.
All the time.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's why he's so
Carl
skinny.
moves
He's burning
towards Ben.
calories, being like sneaky and hilarious. That's what it is.
Yeah. So Carl moves towards Ben and he draws his gun. Locke says, easy, kid. And Sawyer steps in to warn him that Ben is just trying to get inside his head.
Yeah, Carl's peacocking
basi-
a little too much here, I
Mhm.
think. Getting a bit big for his britches.
I mean, he's a teenage boy,
Oh, well,
Who's-
yeah. I mean,
whatever. So Carl heads off. Alex goes with him. And Ben, whose rope is being held by Sawyer, asks him why he left Kate behind. And Sawyer
Mhm.
replies, wasting your time, Yoda.
Left behind, Kate, you did.
So Ben says, James, look at yourself. Yes, on this island, you're brave, daring, handsome. You're someone. But if you left with them, back in the real world, a low-life scam artist like you could never compete with a first-class surgeon.
Ooh.
I think Kate was really upset when you made your choice to come with us.
Oh.
Thank God she has Jack there to comfort.
Yes.
And before you can finish your
Yes.
sentence, Sawyer attacks him.
Oh, fuck yeah.
He gives Ben yet another severe beating. I mean, this man.
This man has
Got
been
his
beaten
ass
quite a lot in the last 48 hours, basically.
Yeah, seriously.
But he never gets knocked unconscious. Amazing.
Oh, yeah, and that's
True.
something.
That's very true.
So Locke tries to stop him, and Sawyer demands to know why they're keeping him alive. Locke says Ben's been on the island for a long time, and he has information they need. And apart from his mouth, he's harmless.
Wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sawyer's like, well, I wonder if it was Ben's mouth that put the holes in you.
Woo. All right.
So-
all right,
Were you guys
all right.
watching?
Oh, hey now.
Shit got weird with us. Fatal
So
attraction.
Locke agrees, and he says, okay, we'll execute him right in front of his daughter.
Ooh.
So Sawyer finally backs down, but tells Locke it's only a matter of time before Ben gets them.
Those are facts.
Yeah. He probably already has a plan figured out.
Also
Sawyer
facts.
calls Locke Johnny and hands him the rope, telling him to walk Ben.
Wow.
Hmm.
Sawyer's not
Walk
wrong.
Ben.
He's not wrong.
Nope.
So now we see Miles whispering to a dead Naomi.
Mm.
Jack and Kate and Faraday are watching, and Faraday speaking as if he just smoked a fatty. He's like, the light is strange out here, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's kind of like it doesn't scatter quite right. I would be
Man, pass
asking
that
for
shit.
some of whatever he's
Yeah,
been
pass that
smoking
over
because
here, man.
that looks like
Exactly.
some good shit. Kate looks really nervous, and she's like, Dan, could you maybe put your gun away?
Well, you're tripping out over there, possibly. Yeah.
He says that he can't because Miles would kill him.
Oh fuck. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. And then,
Jesus.
Jack tells Kate that we should back down and let this play out, and he winks at her
Yeah. Yeah.
when he says that. So Miles finally looks up and he says, they didn't kill her. It happened like they said it did.
oh my
really?
god. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Go medium.
So so the phone beeps.
Yeah, you got
and
the
now-
medium and then Faraday's high. So
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. So now the phone beeps and Faraday says Charlotte is only 3 kilometers from there.
I think he's 5. He means
right,
5.
Miles,
5
Right,
inland.
Miles?
Yeah,
Right.
it should be 5. Everything's 5 miles.
kilometers.
Kilometers.
And then Miles says to head out, but Jack and Kate refuse to leave until they put their guns away. Miles wants to know why he would do that. So Jack says, because our friends are out in the jungle right now holding a gun at your head and his head. So I'm going to forget about the misunderstanding. Just put the guns down. Miles wonders how stupid they think he is, just as bullets fly from out of the jungle.
Pew!
Pew, pew.
Saeed and Juliet appear, and Kate takes Faraday's gun, and Jack says, I don't know, Miles, how stupid are you?
Yeah.
I'd say I'm kind of medium stupid.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Low
That's
end of
what-
the IQ scale.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
what Miles said. I'm medium stupid.
So I'm medium stupid.
And Faraday's just stupid high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Faraday is high on physics.
Okay, flashback number 3.
Oh, before we start this, I need to interject a quick correction. Way back, I don't know, is it season 2 or 3? I don't know, Mr. Echo's episode where he goes to the girl that drowned and got cut open. And he meets, she is the
Yeah.
daughter of Claire's psychic. And the character is named Charlotte. And I said that we see Charlotte again later. But I had somebody message me, I think on Facebook, through our Facebook page, to tell me that it's not the same Charlotte. And I had just misremembered that for some reason. So I just want to put that correction in here, that we do know that, and that is not the same Charlotte. This is a different Charlotte, who I had a crush on in my 20s, because her red hair is gorgeous. So Go ahead,
But
Christy.
she kind of looked like an older version
I know.
of the
I think-
psychic's daughter.
I think maybe that's so. I think what happened, I tried to think about it, like how I got sort of all mixed up. And when I was thinking about this episode, I was like not remembering her as the anthropologist. I think maybe I was confusing her with Miles, and I was like, oh, that's right. She's the daughter and she sees the dead and he was the psychic. And I just got mixed up in my head. I think that might have been what happened. I don't know. Doesn't matter. It's just important that Derek doesn't think it's the same Charlotte because I told him it was when it's not. So, flashback number 3.
All right. So flashback number 3. We see a 4x4 driving through a desert in Medellin, Tunisia. I believe I pronounced that correctly. I
Looks
hope
right.
so. 2 women get out of the car, and one of them is Charlotte, the same redhead from earlier in the helicopter. She picks up a newspaper, and the front page says 815 Retrouve. I don't know.
Retrouvé, meaning like retrieved.
Retrieved.
Yeah, but
Found.
I believe
Found.
it's
It's probably
French?
found.
French.
I don't know.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, it is French.
If you're in Tunisia, it would be French. Yes.
Yeah.
Poo poo pee pee.
What?
Got a
Wow.
francophile here.
Yeah.
So the
Excuse my
woman
French.
asks Charlotte in how many languages she's going to read the same story before she believes it's true. And Charlotte replies in a very posh British accent, how many different languages are there?
Mm.
Yeah,
Oh, you got to
to
stick up your ass. Jesus.
Yeah. A man approaches speaking French and he asks if they are lost. Charlotte says to tell him that people in her profession can't keep secrets and they know about the dig. He tells her that the site is closed, and Charlotte hands him a stack of cash and tells him to open it.
Well, alrighty then.
Right. So the women walk toward the dig and they can see an uncovered skeleton. The one woman asks if it's a dinosaur, and Charlotte says, not by a few million years. It's an Ursus maritimus,
Yeah.
a polar bear.
What?
What?
Yeah, and the other lady's like, we're in the desert. This is
And
a
this-
joke, right?
And this other actress is awful, by the way.
Yeah,
she's
she's,
really bad.
Yeah.
She's got like 2 lines, and they're both just like, "Oh, you suck."
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the man comes back asking Charlotte in French what she's doing, and Charlotte says excavating. And
Okay.
that's when she uncovers a leather collar.
What?
Wipes dirt off the
What?
collar and exposes the Dharma Initiative Hydra Station logo attached to the
Huh?
collar.
What?
Then she
What?
smiles almost maniacally.
Yeah. She's excited. Derek, how
Okay.
did the polar bear wearing a Dharma collar get into the desert?
That's a very good question. I have no idea.
Well, I am happy to tell you, you will
We find
someday. You will someday have an idea.
So now we're back on the island, and Charlotte is hanging upside down by her parachute above a stream.
Okay, right. So
Um,
now, but at this point, what, like 10, 15 minutes have passed? Like they met Daniel, they talked to him, they hiked to Miles, they go to Naomi's body, and she's still just hanging upside down. How has she not gone unconscious because all of the blood in her
exactly, all
body
the
is
blood.
in her head?
Yeah.
I don't understand that. Anyways.
Yeah, that's a good one. So she can't really get free. She can't reach up to get to the tree. So she pulls her cord and releases herself into the water.
Sticks the
Luckily-
landing too. Yeah.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
does.
Yeah. So luckily it's deep enough that she doesn't get hurt. And then she swims to the surface, smiling and laughing. And then she notices Locke and his group.
Ruh-roh.
Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun,
Hi,
dun.
she says. And Locke replies, hi yourself.
Hi yourself.
Oh, wow.
So in the jungle, Faraday is leading the way to Charlotte. Juliet tells Jack that they were worried. So they tracked them from the cockpit wreckage. Jack thanks them, and Kate complains that nobody told her that the cavalry was here. Jack says he gave her that wink, and Juliet laughs, and Saeed asks their names, and Faraday says, I'm Daniel Faraday, and this is Miles.
Dick.
Miles quickly interrupts and tells him not to say his last name. Faraday says that he's a physicist. He goes, well, I guess you could call me a physicist. I don't really like being pigeonholed into one And Miles is like telling Faraday, if you say another word, I'm gonna break your fingers.
Damn.
Yeah. Saeed asks Miles what he does, and Miles says he collects soil samples.
What?
I love
Yeah.
the way he says it too. It's so fucking funny because he's such a damn smartass.
Yeah.
Saeed wants to know why the entire world thinks that they're dead, but Miles doesn't seem surprised to see them. So Miles sarcastically replies, "Oh my God, you guys were on Oceanic Flight 815? Wow. Is that better?"
Douche.
Such a dick.
Yeah, he's a douche canoe.
Oh my God.
So now we're back with Charlotte and Locke and his group, and they're all sitting around. She's amazed at the Flight A-15 survivors being alive on the island. And
I mean,
wants
I
to
guess
know
you
how-
would be, right? Like,
I know,
the whole
yeah.
They found
world,
the plane at the bottom of the
plain
ocean.
Bodies.
Why would she be that? Because that's directly at odds with Miles. Miles doesn't seem to be surprised at all to see them. He like expected to find them alive almost. It seems like, yet she's
Were they not told that they were
Well,
going to
right.
be on the island?
Well, that's because Miles can talk to dead people. And so I
see
think
dead people.
he would know who was dead and not.
Yeah.
on-
See,
with
I
the
took
plane,
this as
I think.
they both knew that there was a bunch of survivors. He's the one who's sort of like, yeah, we knew there were survivors. She's still playing like she didn't. They're telling different stories, is what it
Right.
feels like
Yeah,
to me.
I mean, that makes sense too, especially because when we find out later why they're really there, and like Lapidus talks about memorizing the manifest and stuff like that. So it would be weird if Charlotte was like the only one who didn't hear that was maybe the case. So yeah, you're probably right. She's just sort of playing dumb.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah, Hurley's kind of suspicious about it. But he does tell her that 48 survived the crash, not counting the backenders, but they're pretty much all dead now anyway. Locke shushes him, and then Charlotte asks about Aaron. She's amazed that Claire had him on the island. Babies come when babies come.
Yeah.
And
So
wherever.
he gives a shit where
Maybe
you are.
she's amazed that she survived it on the
So,
island.
how would she know that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's another thing that I put down is like she's the one that's not adding up right now.
Well, I mean, she can
Yeah.
see how old Aaron is, and if Claire says she was on the plane, then she would have a guess that he's young enough that he was born on the island.
I mean,
I think
to be
he
fair,
was
though-
really big in that scene too.
Yeah, the baby looks like he's like 6 months old.
Yeah.
Oh, so they were using the giant baby, the one with the giant head.
Yeah.
That one shows up.
Just like Giant Walt.
Yeah.
Right.
So Ben is just eyeing the gun that's tucked into Carl's pants, and
Ruh-roh.
Charlotte says she has a million more questions, but she'll ask them when they get back to the freighter. She lets them know that she's got a transponder and that if they wait there, someone will come and get them soon.
All right.
So Locke asks how many are in her team, and she tells him 4, including her. She's not sure where the helicopter went, but the pilot was trying to land it when she jumped. Locke tells her to get up and come with them. And she's like, no, we need to stay here to be found. And Locke says, see, there's your problem. We don't want to be found.
What?
Whoop, whoop.
Whoa.
Saeed and the rest are still tracking Charlotte while he's fiddling with the phone. Miles is telling him not to mess with it, and Saeed doesn't think making a call could hurt. Miles says, oh, it can hurt.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So suddenly the phone starts beeping, and then they have Charlotte's signal, which can be seen coming towards them really quickly. They think that she's running from something and running towards them for help. And they arrive at the spot where she should be, but nobody sees her. Faraday's yelling her name, and something moves in the bushes. Kate points her gun, and out pops Vincent, wearing the transponder attached to him.
Ooh.
And Jack goes, Locke's got her.
Oh, shit.
Flashback number 4, and I think my favorite one of the episode.
Yeah.
So we see a toy airplane fall to the bottom of a fish tank. Helicopter pilot Frank Lapidus is in a shop in Eleuthera.
Yeah, good luck there.
Yeah,
I think it is
Eleuthera?
Eleuthera.
The Bahamas.
Urethra?
Woo! Urethra, the
So-
Bahamas. Okay.
Yeah, he's in the Bahamas. Let's just leave it at that. The TV's on, and there's a reporter on the screen. And again, we want to caution our viewers that the images they are about to see are graphic in nature. Viewer discretion is advised. Authorities have released dramatic footage of the sunken remains of Oceanic Flight 815. The National Transportation Safety Board has set up a hotline for family members of the Oceanic victims.
Okay.
The NTSB.
Like, these people are not actually going to be like dead bodies, like shown on the fucking news, right? I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, I've never seen that.
Yeah.
You don't think they
that
wouldn't
seems
really
a-
do that, right?
Even with viewer discretion advised.
right.
Yeah.
That you're just showing like rotting corpses on the
Yeah.
news. I just don't.
Loaded.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's weird. All right. So she goes on to say the National Transportation Safety Board has set up a hotline for family members of the Oceanic victims. The NTSB has begun the victim identification process. On the
How?
screen, you can see a body that is dressed as a pilot, and the reporter says that they have confirmation that his body was found in the wreckage under the sea.
No shit.
Yeah.
Nope. Nope.
So they
he
show
got
the dead
eaten by the
body.
monster. He's
Yeah.
not in the water.
No. So they show the dead body floating in the water. The TV muffles and blurs, and Lapidus hits it to bring it back. The reporter is still talking. Recovery of the bodies will be next to impossible. We can only hope that the identification will provide closure to the families of the victims.
Mhm. Yep.
Lapidus noticed something on the screen and he calls a number. An operator at the National Transportation Safety Board Oceanic Hotline answers the phone. Lapidus wants to speak to a supervisor. She keeps trying to ask questions about the nature of his call, but Lapidus is not having it. He's like, look,
Nope.
you're showing a man on TV and you're calling him Seth Norris, and that's not Seth Norris.
What?
Whoa.
Yeah. She puts him on hold, and a man picks up and asks who he is. He replies, doesn't matter who I am. You're showing footage of Seth Norris, and that's not him. Listen, this guy married his high school sweetheart at 19. He always wore his wedding ring, and I'm telling you, there's no ring on that body.
Could've
The man
fallen
says
off.
that the ring probably fell off, but Lapidus is insistent.
Actually, the body would
Or-
swell, so I'm not
Yeah.
sure it
Yeah,
would
it
fall
wouldn't have.
off. I think it would be
Maybe,
stuck
maybe the dude's a
on.
pilot and he's just sort of a scumbag and he took it off. You know, he's going to
Yeah.
Thailand or something.
Yeah, you know, back
Oh,
to stewardess.
God.
Bangkok.
Bangkok. Yeah.
So the guy asks how Lapidus knows so much about Captain Norris, and he replies, because I was supposed to be flying Oceanic 815 on that day.
Say what?
What?
Mm.
I guess he was
Lapidus?
hungover and he called out or something.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
So on the island, Lapidus is hurt and moving through the jungle. He climbs the hill and he finds a cow with a bell on it.
He needs to be careful. Jungle cows are actually really aggressive
yeah,
breed.
yeah,
I know,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So the cow moves and walks away. He kind of falls up to the top of the hill, pulls out his phone and finds it smashed. So he grabs a flare gun and he fires it. Locke's group sees the flare and Charlotte says it's someone from her group. Nobody cares. And she gets annoyed and she's like, what is wrong with you people? We're here because of you. I almost died jumping out of a helicopter because you called us for help.
Okay, calm down, lady.
I mean, I'm kind of with her on this, you know?
Yeah, no shit.
Yes,
Um,
if she was being genuine, but she's like coming
Yeah.
at them when I guess she knows full well that they're there for another reason, right? So
For
that's
what?
what I mean.
Mhm.
Well, you have to wait to the end of the episode.
Hurley wonders if they should go see who launched the flare, and Claire worries that it could be someone who's hurt. Locke says Charlotte is lying and the four of them are not there to rescue anyone.
Man.
He wants to keep moving forward as planned, and Sawyer says, sure, who are we to argue with taller Ghost Walt?
Like,
Yeah, I
the
love
infal-
his
the ins-
sarcasm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Surely
he's-
it's not
he's
as
got great
infallible as the markings on your stick. Same sort of.
Yep.
Charlotte's had enough, and she tries to leave, but Locke stops her, and he says he wants her to go with them. He's really kind of creepy about it.
Well,
She's starting to threaten him that if he tries to stop her, but then Ben puts a couple of bullets in her chest.
bam, bam,
and-
out of fucking nowhere.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm just watching. all
God
this and
damn it,
bam,
Carl!
bam, like, what
You
the
got disarmed by a guy.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
why you're
Come on,
Carl.
Carl.
Carl let his guard down. I told you he was peacocking earlier, and it made him
Exactly.
weak.
Damn,
Yep.
Carl.
That's when Carl notices that his gun is missing. Sawyer calls Ben a son of a bitch and tackles him and punches him some more. Locke runs over to Charlotte on the ground, who all of a sudden gasps awake and starts to kind of whisper, "Paralyzed."
No.
Razzle dazzle.
Barrier. Razzle dazzle.
No, she is muttering vest. So Locke unzips her coat to find her wearing a bulletproof vest with bullets stuck in it.
Mm.
That'll
That's
happen.
going to leave a bruise, man.
Oof.
Oh, yeah.
So meanwhile, Jack and the other group have found Lapidus, who's unconscious. Jack finds his pulse and Faraday's trying to wake him. And then Lapidus finally wakes up to tell them that the helicopter had been hit by lightning. Faraday wants to know where Charlotte is. Miles wants to know where the chopper is. And Lapidus says, "I saw a cow."
Wow. Okay.
He also says that he doesn't know where Charlotte is. And then Miles again asks where the helicopter crashed. Lapidus says, "Crash? The hell kind of pilot do you think
Oh,
I am?
shit.
I put her down safe and sound right over there."
What?
Wow.
They run over and look over
Holy
the ridge,
cow!
and they see a helicopter sitting safely on the ground. Sorry, I got that delayed, Ben. Juliet smiles so widely, and Jack and Saeed and Kate all look on in awe.
Their
We're
faces.
I actually,
Their faces are great.
before I was reading the outline, I was watching it,
Mhm.
and I stopped and took a picture of Juliet's face in that moment with that great smile on her face. She
Yeah.
was so happy to see that helicopter.
Yeah. The acting is fantastic. These people are fucking great. I believe everything that they're feeling, and like you see that helicopter now. Of course, as I'm watching it, I'm suspicious of all of this and think that the helicopter could actually end up being a bad thing. But like living vicariously through their moment of joy, I really felt it, and I appreciate the scene.
So now flashback number 5. A man is placing 4 photographs on a table, and they are of Faraday, Miles, Charlotte, and Lapidus.
What is happening?
Okay.
Naomi says, "So this is the team." She tells the man that she's looked at their profiles and they think that they're wrong for the mission because none of them have field experience or military training. She says, dropped and unprotected, these people will be a disaster.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Matthew Abaddon replies,
What?
"They're not
What?
unprotected. They have you."
What is happening?
He's obviously not an attorney.
Yeah. Probably doesn't work for Oceanic Airlines.
No,
Okay.
don't have any business cards.
Naomi is worried because this is a high-risk covert op in unstable territory. She says, "It's dodgy enough without having to babysit a head case, ghostbuster, anthropologist, and a drunk." Abaddon replies, "To be fair, he's also a pretty good pilot."
Wow. Okay.
Naomi wonders what will happen if they find any of the survivors of Flight 815. And
So they
Abaddon
knew.
says, "There were no survivors."
What?
So Naomi asks, "But what if there are?" And he says, "There were no survivors of Oceanic 815. Don't ask questions, just do what you were hired for."
Oh, and what
Every
was
member-
that?
I know. Every
Yeah.
member of this team was selected for a specific purpose. Everything relies on you getting them in, getting them out, and preventing anyone from getting killed. Think you can do that? Naomi says, "Sure, why not?"
Yeah, why not?
I'll give you some
No
reasons
problem.
directly from your mouth. high risk, covert op in unstable territory. That's one reason why not. Dodgy without a head case, Ghostbuster, anthropologist, and a drunk. So those are the reasons.
2
why
reasons, 4 reasons.
Yeah, those are some pretty solid reasons why not.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
On the island, we have Kate and Faraday carrying Naomi's body on a stretcher. Saeed is examining the helicopter,
Oh, God,
and he
seriously.
says that there's minor damage.
This is
but
a helicopter.
mechanical systems are intact.
So Saeed is obviously he's accredited with looking at the avionics and the mechanics of this specific model of helicopter.
That's right.
As
know
in
what? I
all
feel like-
torturers are schooled in
Well versed in
fucking,
helicopter.
So I
Yeah.
feel like the Republican Guard must have like functioned a lot like the Boy Scouts, and Saeed's
They
just
get
getting his
badges for all their-
patches and his
Yeah.
badges.
So what's
and,
the
like-
torturer badge?
Yeah, he's got the torture.
Waterboarding.
Excuse me, interrogator.
Oh,
is the
okay.
proper term.
That's right.
Oh.
Enhanced interrogator.
Enhanced
Well, see,
interrogation.
We
Yeah.
got a friend who was in Bosnia, and he worked on specific helicopters, and he worked on very specific pieces of helicopters. Like people are very highly trained to do these things. So him just kind of sitting in there, being like, "Oh yes, this is ready to fly." Yeah, come on.
It kind of kicks it up. It's ready.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, my first husband was in the Navy. He was an avionics electronic
In the
technician.
Navy.
And he was trained on the electronics on one specific type of plane. Like
Exactly.
you don't just know all of everything. And
Yeah.
exactly.
So Miles wants his phone back, and Jack says that he can't have it unless he tells him why they're there.
Haha.
Yeah. Miles says he'll do it, but then a call comes in first.
Damn it.
Jack gives him the phone and tells him not to say anything about his sister. A woman named Regina answers and says, Mikowski can't come to the phone right now.
Please leave a message and he'll call you back.
Yeah. Miles tells her to have him call when he can. Then he sees Kate and Faraday with Naomi's body. And he says, there's no point in taking the body. It's just meat. It's not Naomi.
True.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And Frank is shouting from a distance that Miles is right. You know, he's like, we only have enough fuel
She's meat.
to get back to the freighter without any extra weight. And we have Juliet tending to Lapidus's wounds. And then he asks what her name is. She tells him it's Juliet Burke. He comments that she wasn't on Flight 815.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Ooh.
Frank then calls over to Miles and tells him that Juliet is a native.
Oh, no. How do they know that?
A native? What?
Yeah. So Miles immediately approaches Juliet and asks her where he is.
He.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Juliet wonders who, and Miles gets angry, whips out a photo, and he says, you want to know why we're here? I'll tell you why we're here. We're here for Benjamin Linus. Now, where is he?
Oh,
What the
no.
hell?
Whoa,
Holy shit.
no.
That just blindsided me there. No clue.
Mind
And I want to
blown.
talk for a second about the photo that you see, because it looks a hell of a lot like he's walking through airline security, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Yes, it does.
So that gives you a little hint of like something else is up here with Mr. Benjamin Linus.
So in the jungle, Sawyer throws Ben up against a tree and puts a gun in his face.
Poor Ben.
Ben's
He's
trying to
taking
get him
it.
to listen. Locke's checking on Charlotte, who says that she's okay, but feels like she got hit with a cinder block. Locke apologizes for her being shot. I
Sorry.
know, it's so absurd.
Sorry.
Sorry, you got shot.
Oops.
Sorry, I ruined your Black Panther party. So yeah, Locke goes over to Sawyer and he's like, I stand corrected about Ben. Sawyer's ready to kill him, but Locke says that he'll clean up the mess. Sawyer hands him the gun and Alex screams, no.
What?
I mean,
She
still
was
sees
raised
him
by
as
him.
Oh, yeah.
her father. So
Yeah. I'm sure she feels torn about all of this
Yeah.
that's happening, but like, yeah, she was still raised by him, so that's got to be scary.
it can be hard to turn your love off.
Yeah.
You know?
And this is not in the outline, but at the same time, Claire pipes up and says, well, we should really talk about this. And John comes back in the perfect response. He says, "What if one of those bullets hit the baby?" She says nothing.
Yeah, that's
baby.
right.
Dude,
Yeah.
he appealed to her in the right way and closed her
baby.
down.
Yeah, for sure.
And with a giant baby, it'd be a big target.
Yeah, it's
Oh
true.
my
That big old
God.
head.
Like, how do you miss that kid's noggin? Big old turnip head.
Yeah, so Sawyer hands Locke the gun. Alex screams, "No!" Danielle tries to get Alex to walk away. So does Carl. And
Whoa.
Locke says that anyone who doesn't want to see this should leave now. Ben is trying to bargain with Locke by telling him that he has answers that Locke wants. So Locke turns to him and says, "What is the monster?"
Yes. Yes.
Whoa.
The black smoke, the monster, what
Yes.
is it? And
Yes.
Ben's like, I don't have that answer.
Damn it.
Oh.
Grr.
So Locke says, "Goodbye, Benjamin."
Whoa.
Frantically, Ben says, "Her name is Charlotte Lewis. Charlotte Staples Lewis.
Oh my
Born
God.
July 2nd, 1975, Essex, England. Parents,
Oh my God.
David and Jeanette."
I want
Eldest
to
of
stop right
3.
there. Her name is Charlotte S. Lewis. So remember that.
Oh, that's right.
S.
Like David S. Pumpkins.
Like David S. Pumpkins, exactly.
So I guess I'll drop this right now. We're in the second episode. At the end of this season, in our bonus episode, we always kind of do different stuff after every season. At the end of this season, we will be discussing the lost character names, where they came from, what they mean, what their references are to. And I will give you a little teaser here. Miss Charlotte Staples Lewis is a reference to the incredible author, C.S.
Lewis.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. Ben goes on. Parents, David and Jeanette, eldest of 3, all girls. She was raised in Bromsgrove, did her undergraduate studies at Kent, took her PhD in cultural anthropology at Oxford.
Oh,
She's
boy.
here with 2 other team members and a pilot. Their names are Daniel Faraday, Miles Strom, and Frank Lapidus.
Oh my God.
Your instinct was right, John. These people are a threat. And if you
Wow.
shoot me, you'll never know how great a threat they were. Because I know what they're doing here. I know what they want.
What?
Sawyer
Oh my
asks,
God.
"What do they want?" And Ben says, "Me, James. They want
What?
me."
Oh my God.
Locke wants to know how Ben knows all these details, and he replies, "Because I have a man on their boat."
Say what?
Linus for the
Lost
win.
title screen,
Linus.
end of episode.
Man.
What? Oh my God, Ben, he's a step ahead no matter what the
Always.
fuck
Even
happens.
tied up and getting his face bashed in.
That's an intense ending.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. We'll talk more in a second. Anybody want some fun facts?
I
Yes,
almost
please.
got to find out what the monster was. Damn it. I knew they wouldn't reveal it then, but yeah.
No, that takes a while. All right.
Sure,
so
fun facts.
let's start these fun facts with a quote. "I watched a snail crawl along the edge of a straight razor. That's my dream. It's my nightmare. Crawling, slithering along the edge of a straight razor and surviving." Colonel Walter E. Kurtz. In this
Wow.
Heart of
episode,
Darkness.
in this episode, Sawyer refers to Locke as Colonel Kurtz, so today's fun facts are about who that is. Walter E. Kurtz was a career officer in the United States Army. He was a third-generation West Point graduate who had risen through the ranks and was seen to be destined for a top post within the Pentagon. Kurtz saw action in the Korean War after receiving a master's degree in history from Harvard University. He later graduated from the U.S. Army Airborne School and was accepted into the Special Forces training and eventually into the 5th Special Forces Group. He is also a completely fictional character played by Marlon Brando in Apocalypse Now. In the film, Kurtz goes rogue in Vietnam, taking over a Cambodian temple and leading the indigenous people to commit atrocities against the Viet Cong and the Northern Vietnamese army. After he failed to respond to repeated orders to resign his command and ordered the summary execution of 4 South Vietnamese intelligence agents who he suspected of being double agents for the Viet Cong, the military sent assassins. Marlon Brando's Colonel Kurtz is thought to be modeled after a real person. His name is Anthony Pasfany, who was a CIA operative dispatched to train a secret CIA-funded army of hill tribes in Laos during the Vietnam War. Much like Kurtz, he dropped severed heads into locations as a form of psychological warfare. So,
That's crazy.
anyone find it interesting that Locke is now leading a faction away from the originals, and Sawyer drops that nickname? I thought it was very clever.
Was the character's name Kurtz in Heart of Darkness? I thought it was. I thought it
believe
was.
it was.
I don't
I just
know.
watched that movie, Apocalypse Now, just a couple months ago again.
I don't think
The
I've ever seen
Redux. Always watch the Redux. Yeah, never
Yeah.
watch the original. Always watch the Redux, the director's cut. Apocalypse Now is a fantastic fucking film.
Yeah,
It is.
It's a messed up movie.
It's a real war is
Beautifully
not.
shot.
Yeah, war is
Very.
not like a game. Sort of like this is real. It's a really intense film. And Marlon Brando is incredible. Martin Sheen is amazing.
Dennis Hopper is great in it.
Yeah. Lawrence Fishburne, very young,
Oh,
plays
that's
like
right,
a
that's right.
16-year-old. Yeah.
That's right. Yep.
It's a really, really excellent film. Highly recommend. It can be triggering if you've ever been to war or if you have issues with horrific shit. But definitely worth a watch. All right.
I just wrote myself a note to watch it, but
Do it.
Do it.
you just did say, that it can be horrific to watch.
Yes.
And I have watched some movies that you've been like, Christy, let's watch this movie. It's a great movie. And then at the end, I'm like, you are one of the most fucked up people I've ever met in my life.
Wasn't that Requiem for a Dream?
Requiem-
That's
God.
what did that.
Requiem
Yeah.
for a Dream.
Yeah, I was like, this is such a great movie. It's one of my favorites. And at the end, she was
Fuck.
like, you're sick.
Yeah, that's messed
something
up.
wrong with you.
Very
So-
Bad Things.
What about the human centipede?
Very Bad Things
Very
is awesome.
Bad Things.
I love that
Great
movie.
fucking movie. Great fucking movie.
Fucked up, too.
You're right. You're right.
What
I
about
do
Human
have.
Centipede? Have you seen
Yeah.
that?
Yes, that is
Oh,
sick.
I won't watch.
Yeah.
I won't watch that.
I do have a dark. I love a dark sense of humor films. That's like when we were talking to Dave in season 3 about Heathers, right? And it's
Yeah.
Oh, that's another.
just
Yeah.
dark stuff. Yeah, but Apocalypse Now is. It's just intense. It's a really intense war film, and definitely worth a watch. All right, let's do some best and worst moments for season 4, episode 2, Confirmed Dead. Christy, what did you think?
So I had 3 best moments.
Oh, me too.
Faraday talking about the weird light.
Yeah. Okay.
Juliet's smile when she saw the helicopter. And
Mhm,
a very
mhm.
simple line from one Frank Lapidus. I saw a cow.
Fucking brilliant. Your worst moment?
Moments after telling Carl not to let Ben get in his head, Sawyer let Ben get in his head.
Indeed.
Yeah.
You're correct. He did do that. Like I said, I also have 3 best. I have no worst moment. I love this. I love the beginning of season 4. I'm not angry. I'm having a hard time killing people, finding worse characters, finding worse moments. I have 3 quotes. The first one, rescuing you and your people can't really say that's our primary objective. Love it. Number 2, I'd probably be dead if I still had a kidney. Oh my
Oh,
God.
yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
that was good.
Yeah.
Number 3, because I've got a man on their boat.
Yep.
Oh, Ben. It's,
Yeah.
Love it. Derek, how about you?
Yeah, I didn't have any worse moments in this episode either. I mean,
Tough.
I could pick something. I'm just not a fan of Miles, but that's just a character, not a moment.
Okay.
So, but my best moment was when Miles whips out a picture and reveals that the team and most likely the freighter is there for Ben Linus. I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me?" I was like, "Wow."
Oh my God. Yeah. Like, I mean,
Yep.
he's been on the island since what? He was 8 or 9.
Yeah.
So it's just like, who the fuck even knows his name?
Right. How do they
And
know
he's
he's
there.
there?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Ben, what about you?
A couple of the lines that you said were actually ones that I wrote down as well.
Cool.
I
Okay.
think Daniel saying not our primary objective. I thought that was great. I really
Yeah.
liked the first scene where Daniel's like whatever wife or girlfriend says, "Why are you crying? What's wrong?" And he just says, "I don't know," because that to
Yeah.
me sets up the entire episode. It was like, whoa, okay. There's something reaching out to these people, or something is going on.
Is it the island?
Yeah. Also, I loved, when Ben says, "I have a man on their boat." Like, that's awesome.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
finally, Ben rousing Sawyer about him being like a low-level con man and saying, "Well, don't worry, Jack can take care of her." I
Yes.
loved it.
Yeah.
My
I mean, the
least,
testosterone went through the roof there.
yeah. My least favorite scene was when they were in Tunisia with a polar bear, but it's only because that second actress that was with Charlotte was just fucking god-awful.
She was like non-memorable to me.
Yeah, her lines, they were like lead balloons. They were just not well delivered.
Why don't you tell us what you think of your character rankings, Ben? Just keep going.
I did not have bottom, third, or second, but my least favorite character is Charlotte. I'm not really sure why. I just don't really care for her. There's something about her that sort of grates on me. Yeah.
Wow, I love Charlotte. I had
like her.
such a crush on her in my 20s.
Yeah.
Wow, okay. All right.
Oh, hey,
You know who she
wow.
reminds me of,
Oh,
Lacey?
hey, wow.
Maybe it was a
No.
posh
What? Who?
accent.
But a prettier version of.
Uh-huh.
The girl from Sex and the City,
No.
Which one?
Several
no.
of them.
the redhead.
Someone that Lacey and I worked with at the restaurant.
Oh.
Who the hell? What? Who?
Tiffany.
Oh, yeah, you're right. That makes sense. She was the reason I worked at Rocky Run. Remember that? Because I worked at Chili's with Josh.
Rocky
And
Road?
she was my bar guest. She was like my customer, and she would
Didn't
always
her
talk.
boyfriend work at Chili's?
Yep, because that's why she would be there, and yeah, and then she like recruited me to come work there, and that's how I met you. That's funny. Yeah, I guess you're right. She kind of does look like her. I haven't thought about her in 24 years, probably. All right, Ben, how about your fuck and your kill?
I'm going to do my top three since we never even got to that.
Oh,
I
I'm
interrupted.
used to going.
Yeah.
I'm used to going the
Yeah.
other way. I don't know
Yeah.
if that was a mistake
So,
or not.
Third
but yes,
place,
top 3.
Third place, Miles. Second place,
Okay.
Daniel Faraday. And first
Okay.
place, Ben Linus.
Oh yeah.
As for fucking kill, I'm going to fuck Frank Lapidus because I'm just sort of gay for Frank. I'm sort of gay for Frank.
All right.
I think
all
this is
right.
the first time you fucked a dude
Yeah.
on this
yeah.
show,
Yeah.
like in this universe.
Yeah, Dave might. Dave
I
might
like
come
Frank.
on. Dave might come on and fuck Lapidus. He
That's
likes
right.
to go. He likes to fuck guys when he comes on the
Yeah.
on the pod.
I'm going to
yeah.
kill Carl because he, like you said, peacock and got disarmed by Ben.
He
and,
did.
Just sort
Yeah.
of a useless git.
He
He's a
did fuck
teenage
that
boy.
up.
Yeah, well.
All right. So I have
Fucking
no.
an 18-year-old.
I have
It is, yeah, I'm just jealous of him, actually.
16-year-old. Yeah, that's what it is. I have no
18.
one in my bottom characters, and I didn't kill anybody either. I don't know. I'm too happy about season 4 right now. So let me give you my top and my fuck. Third best, I've got Sawyer. He did let himself get a little bit in his head, but he had some great fucking lines, and he did give a couple good beat downs. Second best is Daniel Faraday. I have a little crush on him. He charms me for some reason.
It's a little
and then-
leprechaun.
Number 1, Ben Linus. He's killing it. The man on the boat thing got me. It's just like, holy fuck.
Yeah, buddy.
Speaking of fuck, I like Miles a little better than I like you guys. He didn't make it into my top characters, but I am going to fuck him while he repeatedly and sarcastically insults me.
Hey, you're like, hey, not so fast. Could you just go at medium pace?
Oh, slow down.
Slow down.
All right.
Lower.
Christy, what do your rankings look like?
Okay, so on the bottom, I have Miles, because he's kind of a dick. Matthew Abaddon, because he is creepy as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
And my top bottom is Benjamin Linus.
Bitch, you bitch.
Top
My
bottom.
fucking
You're
Christ.
trying to
He's
hold
versatile.
the man down.
Yeah.
My top bottom. Oh my God.
In my top 3, in number 3, I have Vincent.
Yay.
Because he was just so fucking cute running towards them with that thing on his neck.
GPS thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Second from the top is Daniel Faraday. He is a really intriguing character.
Yeah, you gotta love him.
Yeah, he's can't wait to learn more about him.
Uh-huh.
And my very top is Frank Lapidus.
Wow.
I love his crazy hair and his crazy eyebrows. And
Do you remember that he is the lawnmower man?
I didn't until after, because he looks a lot different.
Yeah, he does.
Well, he's older.
In that
I mean, what?
movie.
Lawnmower
much
Man
older.
came out in
Late
was that
80s, I believe.
80s? Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
That great CGI they had.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
my God.
so I'm gonna fuck Juliet and Saeed.
That's hot. Yeah.
yeah.
That's hot. Mhm.
And
You're
I'm
gonna fuck
kill-
Juliet inside what?
Oh, Lawnmower Man was 92. So 30 years ago. 31
Lawnmower
years
Man
ago.
was 92. Oh, okay.
Yep.
I was 90s. All right. Go ahead,
And,
Christy. Say you're going to kill so I can boo you.
Yep, I'm gonna kill Benjamin Linus.
Boo. I'm gonna have to go gay and fuck him to get him back
Yeah,
up
exactly
there.
right. Exactly.
All right, Derek. Give us your rankings.
So I only had one on the bottom, and that's Miles. I'm just not a
Just
fan.
don't like him. All right.
Not right now. I mean, he may grow on me.
All right.
My third best is Daniel Faraday.
Daniel Faraday making
I like him.
all
He's
of
a
our
kinda
top. That's
goofy
great.
scientist guy, you know.
Yeah. Okay.
Kind of high, I think.
A little bit.
And then second is Frank Lapidus. I like him.
All right.
He's an interesting character. And
Mhm.
my top of my top is Ben Linus.
Oh.
So I canceled out. Well, at least one.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to fuck Charlotte.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
cute.
She is. And I'm going to kill Miles.
All right. Ben, what's it look like after the second episode of season 4?
Well, at the bottom, we now have third place Christian and Naomi tied, -6 points.
Still
Jack
tied, but now
slides-
somebody's worse than them. Okay.
Jack slides into second place with -7 points, and we've got the terrifying Matthew Abaddon with -8 points.
Wow. Okay. I kind of hate that we hate him, but I get it. He's
I'm neutral
scary.
on him right now.
He's scary. Okay.
Now we've got a close. We got Daniel Faraday with 10 points, and that's a close fourth place.
Woohoo.
With Frank
Okay, so you're giving
Lapidus
us
jumping
fourth.
jumping into the top 3.
Wow.
Frank Lapidus in third place with
Wow.
11 points.
Okay.
Ben
Wow.
Linus in second
Yes.
place with 15 points.
Yes.
And Hurley didn't gain any ground, didn't lose any ground, but still sits atop the standings with 23 points.
Still can't catch him. He came out so strong in episode 1. He
Yep.
doesn't even need to do anything in episode 2.
That's right.
All right. Oh, these rankings are exciting. I'm so excited for season 4. I'm just excited, guys. All right. Shall we do some final impressions? How about Christy?
This is a fucking great episode.
Ah, yes.
I really, really love this episode. I love the roller coaster ride that the writers have us on, never knowing who to trust. One minute we like these people, the next minute we hate these people. It's just such a great show. Loved it.
Yeah. I agree. Another great episode. They give us a 1-2 punch here at the beginning of season 4. New cast, new characters to explore, new mysteries surrounding them. We already know Lapidus was supposed to be on the plane, and Daniel Faraday is like crying over this shit in more ways than seems necessary. Like, it seems like they're sort of connected to all of this. It makes me wonder, like, is Charlotte? Is Miles? Who are these people? Who the fuck is Matthew Abaddon? How the hell was he giving Naomi, like, instructions? What does he know? Like, just all of it. It opens up all new stories, I think, which is something that Lost is so good at. They never bore me. I mean, Stranger in a Strange Land, but we'll just let that go.
Yeah. That episode was.
But yeah, just huge, strong start. I'm fucking loving it, and I can't wait to see more. I find it interesting. We were in the flashback format again. Do we get more of the flash forward, or was that just 2 episodes? I'm wondering now. And yeah, I love it. Ben, how about you?
Same. I thought it was really, really entertaining. I liked the fact that they did a single flashback for each of these sort of new characters. You get pieces of the puzzle, but they don't really, they don't tie it together in a way. You don't still really know why they're there until you find out it's because of Ben and they're all after him. And it's like, oh, holy shit. But then you also see even within the freighter, it seems like there's kind of a schism there, and maybe they're there for different reasons. And I like how they tie it all together where they do 4 flashbacks, and then the 5th flashback was Naomi's, and she's sort of like the team leader, and she's getting her orders directly from Abaddon. So you see the sort of power structure of like these other interests that are now kind of colliding with the folks on the island. So again, I thought the pacing of the episode was really good. There was a couple things in there that I thought were like kind of small plot holes, but those were forgivable. All in all, I thought it was a really great episode. And generally, I think they have a tendency to come out really, really big with the first episode, and they have a tendency to sort of drop off a bit on second episodes of the seasons. But this one felt like it kept up it kind of kept up ahead of steam. So
Agreed.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes.
Derek, what'd you think of episode 2, Confirmed Dead? And what kind of questions did it spark?
Yeah, I'm with Ben. I like that it's continued the strong as the first episode. I thought this was a really excellent episode. We were introduced to 4 new characters, a team that came to the island to apparently get Ben Linus, but we don't know why or how they knew he was there or what they want him for.
Yeah.
I like Daniel, even though he's a little goofy. Miles is an asshole. Charlotte is inquisitive, and Frank is a damn good pilot who was supposed to be flying Flight 815. And I like the ending, the big reveals there, and I got a man on the boat. And so my biggest questions are, why does the team want Ben Linus? What plane is at the bottom of the ocean if it's not Flight 815?
It's probably Spirit Airlines.
No, it's that Malaysian flight that they still can't find.
That's right.
I just watched the thing on that. Crazy.
All right, good news, Derek. Those questions will eventually be answered, but not next week. Next week, we've got season 4, episode 3. It is called The Economist. It's a side episode, and it's a Ben episode. We get back to the flash forward. And if you thought Ben Linus gave us a shock at the end of this episode, just wait till next week. We'll see you then. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Lost in My 40s is a Spacebear media production, executive produced and edited by me, Lacey J. Sound engineering, editing, and original music by Benjamin Trimp. Like and follow Lost in My 40s on Facebook and Spacebear_media on Instagram and Threads. Plus, follow Spacebear Media on YouTube for extra video content. Or for everything in one place, go to spacebearmedia.com.